Imagine a place so hot that it can kill you in a matter of hours. Welcome to Death Valley, California, where the scorching sun attracts thrill seekers and tourists alike, but also claims lives annually. Ray Estrada's 11-year-old grandson, accustomed to Las Vegas's sweltering summers, yearned to experience the intense heat of one of the world's hottest spots. So Estrada took him to Death Valley National Park, equipped with an umbrella, extra water, and electrolytes. That day, the temperature skyrocketed to 118 degrees Fahrenheit, 47.78 degrees Celsius. "We have to be extremely cautious when we venture out there," Estrada warned. "If you start feeling dizzy or anything, we'll just turn back and ensure our safety so we can try again another time." But here's where it gets controversial. Despite the warnings, the heat claims 1 to 3 lives each year, and park rangers frequently respond to overheated visitors. Communicating the risks of extreme heat is a top priority for the National Park Service, but it's easier said than done. People often underestimate how dangerous heat can be, said Abby Wines, the park's acting deputy superintendent. They usually think of heat as something that makes them uncomfortable, something they can tough out. But this type of heat will kill. Death Valley holds the record for the highest temperature ever recorded, 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 56.67 degrees Celsius, in July 1913. Although some experts dispute this and claim the real record was 130 degrees Fahrenheit, 54.4 degrees Celsius, in July 2021. In the U.S., heat kills more people than any other weather event combined. If greenhouse gas emissions continue unabated, more places could experience such extreme temperatures, making it crucial to communicate the dangers and safety precautions. Throughout the desert, stark warnings remind visitors of the deadly heat. Stop. Extreme heat danger. Walking after 10 a.m. not recommended. One sign reads, "Heat kills," warns another. Bathroom walls feature charts showing the color of urine. The darker it is, the more water you need to drink. Another sign cautions that helicopters for medical emergencies can't fly in extreme temperatures, and ambulances, while often deployable, are not guaranteed. The safety of emergency responders is always a top concern. Baruch Fishoff, a professor at Carnegie Mellon University who studies decision-making, explained that people generally underestimate risk when they feel in control. Information that explicitly states rescue might not be an option in extreme heat takes away that sense of control that can lead to underestimating risk. Last summer, a helicopter couldn't fly to a rescue due to 128 degrees Fahrenheit, 53.33 Celsius temperatures. A group of motorcyclists were traveling when one died from the heat, and another was treated for severe heat illness and transported to a hospital. Rescue options are even more limited, see hikers lost on a trail. Unless it's a short distance and rescuers know the person's location, they'll likely wait until sunset if it's above 115 degrees Fahrenheit, 46.11 degrees Celsius. Depending on their situation, Wine said, that's probably too late. The challenges of communication are significant. The park's busiest months are in the summer, and it sees an increase in visitors when temperatures are expected to hit the high 120s or 130s Fahrenheit, 48.89 Celsius to 54.44 Celsius. But it's the moderate temperatures that often get people into trouble. We actually have a harder time communicating our concerns about heat to the public when they visit, and it's only 100 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, Wine said. The dryness evaporates sweat almost instantly. So many people don't realize how much they're actually sweating. Then there's the vastness of the park. Death Valley has over 50 entrances. So many visitors don't see rangers who can relay important information. Instead, they place heat warning signs in the hottest and most popular spots. But they discovered that people responded less to heat warning signs that looked permanent compared to those that seemed temporary. For Mark Green, an expert in experimental psychology, this finding is 100% predictable. People judge what to do based on specific information, he said. If a warning sign is up all the time, even when conditions are good, it contains no useful information. That's why people disregard it. Jennifer Marlin, a senior research scientist at the Yale School of the Environment, has studied public perceptions of the health risks of extreme heat across the U.S. How people perceive heat and other climate risks varies by factors like age, race, gender, income level, and where they live. Older white men, for instance, tend to have lower risk perceptions across the board, whereas women have higher risk perceptions than men. The challenge, though, is that the level of worry or risk perception doesn't necessarily translate into action, Marlin said. Optimism bias could also falsely make a person believe the heat won't personally affect them. While studies show that experience with heat increases people's concern, it is short-lived. You get a bump for like a year or so after a really big event, and then it just goes right back to the baseline, she said. So, what type of communication is effective? Marlin suggested being specific. Don't just tell people that heat can be lethal. Tell them what could happen to their bodies and what to do to stay safe. Death Valley Park officials do this. They advise visitors to avoid hiking at low elevations after 10 a.m., to stay on paved roads and near their cars, to drink and carry plenty of water, and to seek shade and hydrate if they feel dizzy, nauseous, or have a headache. And this is the part most people miss. If scientists gave names to heat waves, similar to how hurricanes are named, that could better grab people's attention because human brains are attuned to novelty, Marlin said. The messenger is also important. If friends, family, and neighbors are worried and nudging you to do something, that can be more powerful than reading information online. Community leaders modeling appropriate behavior, like saying they're evacuating their family ahead of a heat wave or that they carry extra water in their trunk, can also go a long way. Marlin also suggested communicating how extreme heat can impair the ability to think clearly. When communicating with images, show people drinking water, putting on cold, wet towels, or resting in the shade. Whatever the recommended behavior is, show them pictures of that behavior, because we're incredibly and fundamentally social animals, and body language is so much of how we communicate, Marlin said. So what do you think? Do you agree that more needs to be done to communicate the dangers of extreme heat? Or do you believe that people should take more personal responsibility for their safety in extreme conditions? Share your thoughts in the comments below.